doing well. Good afternoon. It's Jason from Evolve Media, and today I wanted to go over my blog number 1 in my blog series for this quarter of things that I'm working on. And blog number 1 is on evolvemediainsider.com. Please go check it out. That's my blog and website. I do blogs every week to help and educate people in digital marketing and with AI. And with that being said, let me get straight into blog number 1 of the series then on today's video. And again, my name is Jason. I'm a founder of Evolve Media, and I'm also a UI UX designer. And right now, let's get straight into this video. The taste economy, why AI can automate your execution but not your judgment. AI can generate hundreds of versions of anything. It still can't tell you which one is right, and that's the whole MOAT. It's 9:14 on a Tuesday morning. A designer, let's call her Mara, and this was just me this morning, to be honest. That's why this is like, I wrote this in the blog, but this was literally me today, Tuesday morning, August 11th, 2026. That was the issues I was having. Opens up Midjourney, types a prompt. She's refined over 3 iterations of it and hits enter. And then 90 seconds later, she's staring at a grid of 50 brand concepts that the AI spit out. And they're all competent. And there's some of them are genuinely beautiful also. And she's completely frozen. And not because the tool failed, and it's because it worked too well. And now she can't tell which one is right, which one carries more emotional frequency the client actually needs, and which one's still going to hold up in 6 months after the trend cycle chews through the aesthetic she was looking at right now. That paralysis, it's not a design problem, it's a taste problem. And it's the only problem that matters anymore, especially going into 2027, especially in 2026. The machine gives you everything except the answer. Here's the thing nobody in the AI discourse wants to say plainly. Generation is already solved. AI generates things for you and does it for you, or close enough to be solved that the difference is academic. And any creative professional with a laptop and a subscription can produce volume that would have required a full studio 5 years ago at least, with logos, campaigns, landing pages, motion graphics, draft copy, music beds. The raw output layer has been commoditized almost overnight. And yet, the creative professionals who are actually thriving right now aren't the ones who adopted AI the fastest. They're the ones who knew what to do with the output, and they're curators, they're not generators. They're editors, they're not prompters, and they have taste. And taste is the one thing you cannot automate, outsource, or shortcut. And something that I love, that I look up to, and is Dan Coe, and talks about the self-actualization economy. The idea that the next wave of value creation isn't even about information, even though we're in the information age, we're drowning in it. And even it's not even skills also, because AI is leveling those, and it's about the development of self-development, and who you are determines what you see. What you see determines what you choose, and what you choose determines whether the work lands or just exists and nothing ever happens. And this is the creative MOAT. Not your tools, not your speed, it's your judgment, your taste. The market is flooded with people who can make things. It is starving for people who know which things to make and what people want. And more importantly, which ones to kill and get rid of. That distinction is taste. And taste is a function of identity, experiences, values, and 1,000 micro decisions you made over a career that your trained eye to see what other scrolls, that trained your eye to see what others scroll past. And AI doesn't have a career, it doesn't have values, it has patterns, and patterns are not taste. Patterns are the raw material that taste operates on. Think about it. So you know, your gut is like your intuition, and it's like your soul, man. It's your 1,000 micro decisions you've made over a career that trained your eye, and it's the 10,000 hours of mastery of your craft and XP and wisdom. So that's what humans have, and a soul. That's what robots don't have. They just work and they just do what people tell them to do. Order takers, NPCs. They're named that for a reason. So I had a little infographic I made also on here for the 3 layers of the framework that I use: the signal, self, and system. And this framework for taste at scales. Let me just get straight into this. If taste is the MOAB, then the question becomes operational. How do you develop it, trust it, and build a business around it? And this is where most advice falls apart. People tell you to develop your eye, find your voice. Like, those are tasks you can knock between Slack messages and your appointments and meetings. They're not tasks, they're practices. They're like rituals, routines. You got time into your flow, your circadian rhythm, your energy. And here's how we think about it at Evolve Media: 3 layers, each one feeding the next. So layer 1, the signal. Learn to read the room before the room knows it's a room. Taste starts with the perception, a frame, not trend watching. That's reactive. Signal reading is about noticing what's shifting beneath the surface before it even has a name. It's the designer who felt the maximalism wave coming into 2022, not because they read a report, but they noticed it in their own boredom and clean minimalism, and trusted that boredom as data, especially in their aesthetics, that and all the things they're doing and liking. Exercise. Spend 1 week logging your aesthetic friction. Moments where something designed makes you feel slightly wrong. Don't analyze it yet. Just collect it. Use it as data, as an iteration. That friction is signal, and it's your taste talking before your conscious mind catches up. So when you make something and you don't like it, the reason you don't like it is because you have an aesthetic friction. You see something before your conscious mind can bring it out to real life. You're gonna have to manifest it into real life and draw it, or pay somebody to do it, to define that vision and idea, to paint the picture in your brain exactly the way you want it, or close enough to it, 99% to it, as much as possible. Like, this is way deeper than what people understand. That's why you have to be super into your purpose and your mission and your values, and into yourself and your beliefs and values and principles and frameworks. Self layer number 2, the self. Anchor your judgment in identity, not consensus. And this is the hard part. This is definitely the hard part. But you get identity drives execution. Most creative professionals have been trained out of their own taste by years of client feedback loops designed by community, and the quiet terror of being wrong in public. And it's like all like just trauma and trust issues, being bullied and not being treated fair. And yeah, man. And so they default to consensus and whatever looks like what's already working. But what consensus is what AI is built to produce. That's what AI was built to improve and work off of. It's a pattern averaging machine. If your judgment looks like average patterns, you are competing directly with a tool that works faster and cheaper than you, and it doesn't need breaks, it doesn't need lunchtime, it doesn't need vacays, it doesn't have a family, it doesn't gotta go home and sleep, it's gonna work all day. That's the race you're gonna lose. And the antidote is self-knowledge. How do you become smarter than AI, and how do you use it then? And how you leverage it for you and your wants and needs in your business and services. And what do you actually value in a piece of work? Not what you can defend in a presentation, what makes you feel something. And this is where Danko's self-actualization lens matters the most. The more developed your sense of self is and your identity, the more differentiated your creative judgment becomes. Your taste becomes a fingerprint, unforgeable. Exercise. Take 3 pieces of work that you're genuinely proud of, and not your client's favorites or somebody else's favorite, your favorite, and then find the through line. That through line is the earliest map of your taste signature. Layer number 3, systems. Build a practice that compounds over time. Taste isn't static. It's a living system that sharpens or atrophies depending on how you feed it. The best creative professionals I know have deliberate taste practices. They curate obsessively, they expose themselves to adjacent disciplines, they argue about work with people whose judgment they respect, and they make things that have no client or no brief, work that only exists to calibrate their own eye, for the love of the game and the craft. And that's dedication, and I respect people like that, and I want to work and collaborate with people like that on their missions and goals and priorities, and the future also, and contributing to society. And hopefully I'd be able to help people along the way to defining their identity and clarity and their purpose, and helping them build these systems that help me be able to get to where I'm at this point when it comes to creating content and providing a service to people, a business of value, and especially in 2027, 2026, move forward. And exercise. Create a taste journal. Once a week, capture one thing you encountered that moved you, one thing that repelled you, that you hated, and write one sentence about why for each one. And over 6 months, this becomes an extraordinarily precise map of your creative identity, of what you want and what you don't want, and one that no AI model can replicate because it's trained on you and yourself and your own thoughts. So definitely create a taste journal. I recommend it. I feel like it's very useful to organize your mind, thoughts, framework, principles, values, beliefs, self, all of that, problems, solutions. The proof is already everywhere if you know where to look. The cultural example. Look at what happened with AI generated movie posters last year. Studios experimented, the internet noticed immediately, not because the posters were technically bad. Many were technically impressive, but they felt empty. Like people just knew they were made by AI. Like there was no love behind it, or no that creative human element touch of uniqueness and spark. And they lacked that compositional instinct, the cultural referencing, the deliberate imperfection that a human designer with 30 years of film history in their bones would have caught in the first draft. And that backlash wasn't about anti-AI sentiment. It's about taste. Audiences could feel its absence even if they couldn't name it. The personal angle. I've been in rooms where AI generated options outnumbered human made ones 10-1, and the conversation still came down to one person in the room deciding and saying, no, this one, and here's why. And that was a person wasn't the fastest or the most technical. They were the one whose judgment everyone trusted, because they spent years earning that trust through thousands of right calls and decisions. And that's the career I want to help people build, not just prompt engineers and taste engineers. I want to help people achieve their goals and pursuits and ventures. The data point. A 2024 Nielsen Norman Group study on AI assisted design workflows found that while AI tools reduced production time by up to 60%, projects without a clear creative director with strong editorial judgment took longer overall, because teams get lost in optionality. Too many options, more output, less clarity. And speed without taste is just faster chaos. And this is solar punk, not cyberpunk. And this is my take on an optimistic, positive future with AI that contributes to society and doesn't exploit us, extort us, blackmail us, or hurt the environment. Also, it would be the opposite. It would help us. And don't get me wrong, I love Cyberpunk in the movie, but yeah, it was a great show on Netflix. It was very great. I got a great rating on my top 10s of all time animes. But that's, the dark path that we'd be headed on if we don't make change as a society and how we use AI and what it's for. And there's a version of the AI future that's dark. You've seen it pitched, the one where creativity gets industrialized, artists become prompt monkeys, and everything looks the same because it's all trained on the same data. That's the cyberpunk frame. Extraction, compression, race to the bottom. Straight exploitation, slavery, capitalism on some level, late stage capitalism, but we don't buy it. And the solar punk frame, the one that Evolve is built around, says something different. It says AI is infrastructure, not destiny. It says the tools get cheaper and more powerful, and that's good because it means the bottlenecks shift from permanently from execution and getting something done to judgment and what's good and bad and what is this for. From production to taste, from can you make this to should this exist and in what form. That shift advantages the people who've done the interior work, the inner shadow work, the ones who know what they value, what they see, why it matters. It advantages the humans in the room, not because the machines can't make things, but because machines can't mean things, make it mean something. And this isn't a romantic argument, it's an economic one. When supply is finite, curation becomes scarcity. Having high quality becomes scarce. Good taste. When everyone can generate the person who can select, when everyone can generate the person who can select, who can look at the grid of 50 and point one to the one that will still resonate in 3 years because it's the one that it resonates with the brand and the character and the soul and everything. That person isn't replaceable. They're the product. They bring in the value. They're creating it in real time with their human body and soul and mind. And your taste is not a soft skill. It's the hardest skill you have. And in the economy that's emerging right now, it might be the only one that compounds. Find where your taste actually lives. You can't build a Moet you can't see. And most creative professionals have taste. They just haven't mapped it out and wrote it down. And they haven't named the principles underneath their instincts or turned those instincts into a system they can trust under pressure. That's what the Ikigai AI Mapper is for, why I built it. It's a free tool we help build to help you find the intersection of what you're great at, what you care about, and what the market needs, and where AI can't follow you because only you, the human soul and mind, can bring it into existence to create it. And you're the only person that can do it in that shape and form and that everything, because there's nobody that will be able to output the same exact things as you in this world. Like, this is what people have to understand. It's a harsh truth and it's a beautiful truth also, where it's just like, you're never going to get the same result. Nobody gets the same gains or nothing. It's just, this is why we need to communicate, and people have to be aligned with goals and priorities and missions and values and purpose, because then we can, make more beautiful, creative things and let it flow more effortlessly and be more in our instinct, in our flow states. And yeah, man, like I said, that's why we built it. It'll show you things about your creative identity that you've been operating on unconsciously for years. And the link is down below. You can download the worksheet also if you wanted to do it the old school way in pen and paper in person, because the future doesn't belong to the people who use AI best. Like we said, it belongs to the people who know themselves the best and their identity, who they are and what they're doing things and what they believe and what they stand up for. And AI uses AI and use AI to express what only they can see. I appreciate you guys listening to my video and going over my first blog number 1 in the series of, like we said, the taste economy, why AI can automate your execution but not your judgment. Please, if you guys have questions or concerns or have anything to, add or implement into today's video that you want to add to, leave it in the comments below. I will have the Ikigai Mapper link in the description, and it's also on this blog on my website, evolvemediainsider.com. I post blogs every week, so stay tuned. I'm going to be posting blog number 2, the YouTube video, going over it soon, so be on the lookout for that. But again, I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, concerns, you can also book a strategy call with me. It's also going to be in the link, and it's also on my website, evolvemediainsider.com. Again, you can book a free strategy call with me if you have any questions and concerns and you're trying to build something. I want to help people find solutions and get to their goals and priorities, and if we're aligned, we could get to that. So if you're interested, the free strategy link is below, and book a time and call and we'll get straight into it. Okay, other than that, God bless, take care, hope everybody has a beautiful day. I'll see you guys in the next video.